What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're heading back to Assetto Corsa for some more, just for another look at some more content from the Dream Pack DLC. Now, for today's video, I'm going to be trying something a little bit different. Normally, I record with Shadowplay, doing all the recordings for Assetto Corsa. However, today I'm going to use Shadowplay just for the audio. And I'm going to use a separate program. Sorry, I'm going to use Shadowplay just for the video. I'm going to use a separate program just for the audio. So hopefully I'm able to sync them up properly, but in case they're slightly out of sync, that is why. So for today's video, we are going to take out the Nissan GTR GT3, and I think we're going to head back to the Nordschleife, and we're going to try the endurance layout. Now, apparently I've been doing Assetto Corsa all wrong. As you can see, like, these are the standard default track settings. However, I'll talk a bit more about it in the video. We're going to drop the ambient temperature down to about 15 degrees, which is closer to what you'd expect at the Nordschleife itself. And as for the track surface, we're going to put it on slow, which again, this should all come together to create a more realistic, levels of grip. So I will talk about my decision in the video once we get going there. But this is, this is what we're going to be doing for today. Nissan GTR GT3 Nürburgring endurance layout. So it's a 25-kilometer lap. So it should be pretty fun. So let me hit the big red start button, and I will see you guys on the track. Right, guys, welcome to the Nordschleife endurance layout and the Nissan GTR GT3 race car. So quickly before we get started, just a quick word: how gorgeous is this this livery? Black, almost like a matte black with, well, maybe it's more grey, but with this like bright lime green decals and that. Isn't it just so gorgeous? And I'm guessing by the fact it says Kuno's art, it is fictional. But quickly, let's go over onto the car settings. We're going to put in, just make sure we've got enough fuel for a lap. I'm sure 50 liters will be enough. Tires, medium compound. I did realize in my previous videos that I, just from messing around by myself, I had left like fuel consumption and tire wear off. So turning them on now. So hopefully medium compound tires and 50 liters of fuel is enough to do one lap. It should be. Otherwise we're going to leave everything as it is. So let's get going. Now, as for my decision to record the video and the audio separately, I've been struggling a little bit to sort of get the in-game audio levels right so that you can hear the car well enough and enjoy, the sound of the car, but at the same time not so loud that, a little bit of a rear lock up here. And I hate this corner so much. No matter how slowly you go into it, always feel like you're still going, too slowly, but the car still doesn't want to do what it's supposed to. I really don't like that corner. But yeah, so I'm struggling to find the levels where you could enjoy the sounds of the car while not interfering with or being too loud so you can hear the commentary. Now, doing it this way, where I record the video with Shadowplay and the audio with a separate program, is the same way I do my War Thunder videos, but I tend to find, that's quite easy to sync up. Whereas this, every time I change gear, you can hear the click of the pedals on my wheel. So, if it's slightly out of sync, it's probably going to be noticed throughout the video. So I'm going to try my very best when I edit this video together to make sure everything is properly synced up. So yeah, hopefully this will work out properly, and it'll be the new way to do things. And when I'm putting the video together, I can adjust the sound of the in-game audio, make it louder or quieter to get the perfect balance between engine sounds and commentary. And then on to the next point I want to talk about, being the fact that I've lowered the track temperature as well as the track grip settings. After doing the video on LaFerrari versus McLaren P1, I hopped onto the Assetto Corsa forum and was looking at a thread about that exact thing to see, if people generally agreed with what I was saying or if I was completely wrong. And one of the developers hopped on there and happened to, just start talking about tires and track grip settings. And he was saying, it defaults in hot lap mode, it defaults to optimal track settings, which is almost, from what I understood what he was saying, it's almost like a theoretical best. You're not really ever likely to see that unless it's like a 24-hour race or something and there's a hell of a lot of cars going around putting down a serious amount of rubber. And he was saying, especially for this track, in order to get the most realistic representation of the amount of grip you get in the real world, you should probably set the temperature to about 15 degrees, which we have done, and set the track grip settings to either slow or green, because this is a more accurate representation of the kind of grip you'll get from the surface at the Nürburgring most of the time. So that's what we were doing, and I've fiddled around with it, and yeah, I've kind of been doing Assetto Corsa all wrong, and I wish I had read this before I'd done my LaFerrari McLaren P1 video, because I would have done just this same thing on Spa, set the track settings to slow, load the temperature, and let me tell you, those cars are so much fun doing it that way. The McLaren is a lot more lively, slides around a lot more. The Ferrari does it even more so, and weirdly enough, the Ferrari actually feels better when you have less track grip, because it's, I don't know, you just kind of expect the front end to slide and understeer like it does. So I had a lot of fun, and maybe if I feel like it, I might consider redoing that video with those track settings. But enough about videos of the past, and locked the rear wheels there, managed to keep it on the track. Let's get on to today's video and the focus of today's video, which is obviously the Nissan GTR GT3. Now, I normally don't like GT3 cars in this game, as I've said in some of my other videos. They feel far too comfortable and far too happy sitting at, driving, lapping tracks at not a terribly fast speed. And I feel like as soon as I start pushing them, they just become unpredictable, is the best way to put it. And not in a fun kind of way. I hate the 12C, McLaren 12C GT3 car. I don't particularly enjoy the Z4 GT3. I'm sure there's some others I'm going to forget about. The SLS is okay, I think. But then we get to this Nissan. And this for me is the first GT3 car that feels alive. And after, reading about the track settings, I did got another bit of a lockup and some massive oversteer, but we managed to hold it, and some more oversteers. We try and put some more power down. And now we're going to try and not screw up the carousel, but it is so easy to sort of fall out of it. You can hear the car just bottoming out, which I think is part of the reason. I think maybe these cars need to have a slightly higher ride height for this track. But after reading the forum, information, I went and I tried, some of the GT3 cars with these sort of track settings, and they still weren't. I didn't find them terribly exciting still. But this car is amazing. As you've seen, we've already had a few, the back end coming out, because obviously this car, while the road car is all-wheel drive, and hopefully the road car will be coming soon, This one is rear-wheel drive. So it's, you know, you don't have a massive amount of grip from an all-wheel drive system. You're on a level playing field with the rest of the GT3 cars. And this car is so much fun to drive. It's the first GT3 car that I feel, you know, does kind of give me that sense that it wants me to push it harder and it wants to go faster. And I actually was, you know, since the Dream Pack came out, it has kind of rekindled my enjoyment of the game, both on a personal level and for doing videos on it. And over the weekend, because I'm now recording this video on a Monday, so Saturday and Sunday I think, I actually went online and played some online races. And I had one in this car, quick double down change, or down to third. I had one in this car. It was at Imola, and it was obviously against the whole GT3 field. I managed to qualify in third place for that race. I got a brilliant start, managed to take second, then sort of messed up and dropped down to third, but then got back to second, and then went on after the guy in first place, who was also in a GTR GT3. And it was such an amazing race. Like we were quite evenly matched. I don't think anyone, we could do with the 7th gear, so we're just going to have to sit here on the red line. I don't think there was any like really amazing players on that server, because I know in GT3 cars the really good guys out there with them can go like 2 or 3 seconds a lap faster than I can, simply because I haven't played them much and I don't particularly enjoy them. But we were quite evenly matched, and I was catching him, and there were, you know, with some sectors I was faster than him, some sectors he was faster than me, but overall I was slowly hauling him in. And here we come over to the start finish line for the lap, and it's going to be an 8 minute, what, 40, let's say 43, no, 42.3. So we'll just finish off this story quickly and we'll wrap up the video. And you know, I was really chasing him hard and slowly pulling him in, and we were setting it up for an awesome, here we go, it just doesn't feel like it wants to turn it. Slowly pulling him in, setting up for an awesome finish to the race. We had, you know, I think we were still about 4 laps left, so I had enough time to catch him and try and make a move or force a mistake from him. And I don't remember if I mentioned it was on Imola. I think I did, but in case I didn't, it was on Imola. And you know, the tight chicane sort of halfway through the lap, I forget what it's called. I went through there and I must have just, when I jumped over the curb of the first chicane, when you're turning in, I must have just gone a little bit wide, and the game gave me a penalty. Now the penalty system in the version 1.1.3 that we have now is different. In the past it used to just, unless you slowed down to 50 kilometers an hour, it would just cut your throttle and ignore your throttle pedal for 5 seconds. Now it brings up a bar on the top of your screen and says, you know, you've got a penalty, you must slow down. Now I was so focused on catching this guy, I didn't see it. I mean, it was at the bar at the very top of my screen. I'm not looking there to see anything, so I don't see this thing, and I'm pushing on, because I honestly I don't think I cut the track. Certainly, not enough that in the real world would give you any kind of penalty. So I didn't see this bloody message, and I'm carrying on, and I happened to notice it just as we were about to cross the start-finish line, because now we're on a straight, and I'm starting to look around, checking tire temperatures and that sort of thing. And I noticed this thing like a second before I crossed the start-finish straight, and as I crossed it, because I hadn't slowed down, it basically disqualified me, sent me back to the pit lane, and the game was ignoring all my input. So unfortunately it was a sad end to that race, but it was still good fun. But yeah, so final thoughts on this car. This is a GT3 car that I can really enjoy driving. As you've seen a few times, the back end is quite playful. It's still playful even on optimal track settings with much higher ambient temperature. and it's just really good fun to drive, and I think it's a very competitive GT3 car compared to a lot of the others. I don't think it's too good, I don't think it's too fast, but for me it kind of suits my driving style and the kind of things that I want out of a car. But that is it for today's video, that is it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you enjoyed what you saw, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button. Maybe consider subscribing for more Assetto Corsa and War Thunder content. If you have any comments, hints or suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys think of the video, and I enjoy getting feedback and just giving me your own thoughts on the content that you've seen. But that's it for today. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is Predator 458 signing off, and I'll see you guys next time.